She's the most successful woman to ever hit video games. With 10 years, $15 billion, and 30 million games under her belt, Lara Croft has gone from idea to icon. Here's where it all started. In 1995, a young British animator named Toby Gard had an idea for a brand new type of adventure game. Featuring a male lead, the 3D third-person shooter was set in mysterious Egyptian pyramids and Aztec temples.
The original idea for Tomb Raider was to make a game like actually an interactive movie. It got me incredibly excited, and that was really the core idea.
A core idea he had while working at Core Design in the small UK town of Derby.
He said, well, I fancied doing this game in pyramids. And I said, yeah, that's kind of cool. He's got this guy on the screen with a whip and a hat, and I said, that's why he's bloody Indiana Jones. I mean, you know, you can't do this.
So began the quest to design the character into something truly original. The leading man underwent, well, a sex change. Early iterations were based on a South American woman named Lara Cruz. Core Design wanted a UK-friendlier name.
The name Croft came out of the phone book. The team sat down and the writer came down with the phone book and just went through the pages and called out things that caught our eye, and we'd go, oh, no.
Several names were put to a vote. Lara Croft took first place. God's gift to his new heroine, an unreal endowment.
The goal was to have her as an exaggerated representation of the female form. That was the reason why she has such an exaggerated and caricatured figure, especially at that time when realism was impossible anyways.
And suddenly there she was, Lara Croft on screen. Love at first sight.
Hardly the case with one of Lara's hopeful platforms, the Sony PlayStation. Believe it or not, Sony USA initially rejected early versions of Tomb Raider, asking for more materials and a better game. Long hours and late nights became the norm for the six-man creative team at Core Design, including an ambitious young engineer fresh out of school named Gavin Rummery.
I created this tool called Room Edit because the whole game was set in tombs, and it seemed a very good idea. We built rooms connected through a doorway into another room. I was thinking like Tutankhamun's tomb, things like that. That's the kind of thing we'd be doing.
The results? A groundbreaking and innovative system of grids and complex levels. The intuitive control system allowed a vast set of athletic moves and mobility through water, which would blow popular 2D side-scrollers of the time out of the water. Sony was sold and eventually got on board alongside Sega Saturn. On Halloween Day 1996, Tomb Raider hit store shelves. The title's impact on the industry was instantaneous. Praised by critics for its gorgeous graphics, crisp full-motion video cutscenes and unprecedented gameplay, Core Design and parent company Eidos had a hit.
The first day of sales was extraordinary. You know, she went straight to #1 in a matter of minutes, effectively, and stayed there for a very, very long time.
We as a company realised this was not just a video game. It had all the attributes, all the foundations, all the platforms to actually turn it into a true entertainment product.
I've been told that if you took all of the copies of Tomb Raider that were sold and piled them one on top of the other, you'd have a building 27 times the height of the Eiffel Tower. What a monstrous, monstrous hit it is.
But not everyone decided to share in the riches. In 1997, at the height of Tomb Raider's commercial success, Lara's creator decided to leave the company.
Because a character like Lara Croft is essentially an asset for a company, there's always going to be opportunities for sorts of cross-promotional stuff. I certainly had a major problem with the way that Lara was being portrayed in the beginning of the franchise. I don't think that the character would ever get into Maxim-style poses.
Lara was his baby, and then people got on top of it and they suddenly went, right, we're going to do it this, we're going to do that. And he really resented that, and he really didn't like that. That really upset him a lot.
With 7 million units of Tomb Raider sold, Eidos knew the show had to go on. Designers at Core instantly began work on a sequel. Toby was gone, but the question remained. Would Lara work without her creator? By the end of 1996, Tomb Raider had become a household name overnight. The pressure was on. Without the help of Lara's creator, Toby Gard, Core Design had to deliver a new Lara and a series of action-packed sequels living up to the first game. In 1997, a new deal making Tomb Raider a PlayStation exclusive title provided a big boost for the franchise. It didn't hurt at all to have the first console to ever ship 100 million units on Lara's side.
A success like Tomb Raider becomes sort of the holy grail of anybody setting out to write a game. Being exclusive to PlayStation allowed us to do a lot of advertising on behalf of the title. Tomb Raider helped PlayStation a lot, and in a way, PlayStation helped Tomb Raider a lot. In Europe, PlayStation is really the platform of choice. The character identified as a PlayStation icon was good for both parties.
On October 31st, 1997, Eidos launched the much-anticipated follow-up, Tomb Raider 2. This time, Lara had to hunt down an ancient Chinese artifact, which was also being chased by evil crime kingpin Marco Bartoli. Core Design worked tirelessly to ensure that this chapter was filled with explosive action.
Tomb Raider 2 was insane from my own personal point of view. I was working pretty much 24/7 for 6 months.
Hard work paid off. Players got their hands on some cool new weapons and gadgets, while cruising the world in a variety of innovative vehicles, like a snowmobile in Tibet or a speedboat through the canals of Venice.
I always just loved it, actually, you could bomb around the canals in Venice, and I always thought that was really cool.
And so did the rest of the world. Part 2 was an instant hit, selling 7 million copies worldwide. By this point, Lara was an A-list celebrity, and Eidos knew that in order to meet demands, they would need to deliver even more hits. It sounded good in theory.
We had no choice but to release another Tomb Raider year on year, each Christmas. I mean, it controlled our lives for probably 5 or 6 years. I mean, it pretty much ruined most people's lives.
Closest I've ever seen anybody to a mental breakdown.
Fans just wanted more Lara. That's what they got in 1998's Tomb Raider 3. Core Design squeezed the PlayStation for all it was worth on this one. Top-notch graphics and innovative non-linear play accompanied Lara's trip out of the tombs and into London and the States. By 1999, Eidos knew it was time to evolve the franchise yet again. Tomb Raider 4, The Last Revelation, promised improved visuals and even graced a brand new console, the Sega Dreamcast.
We'd get feedback from Tomb Raider 3 from a lot of people who felt we had gone too modern, so then Tomb Raider 4, we very much went back to the tomb. It was all set in Egypt. Personally, that's probably my favourite game.
Certainly. It just felt like this is a complete game rather than a series of episodes.
Developers had a nasty surprise for long-time fans. The game's cliffhanger ending showed Lara being buried alive in a tomb of her very own.
People's feelings about Lara are actually quite mixed at Core in a way, because she was, in a sense, almost their taskmaster. You know, she was the one forcing them to get these games out year after year. In a strange way, actually went as far as trying to kill her off in Tomb Raider 4, just to try and avoid having to do Tomb Raider 5.
I think the reason we attempted to kill Lara off was because we really thought we'd exhausted what we could do with the franchise. Seeing Lara falling down a gigantic hole in the middle of the pyramid was quite a joyous moment, so we all, went for a few pints and celebrated the death of Lara, but she came back and got us, you see.
Lara promptly returned in 2000's Tomb Raider Chronicles. Sort of. The game unfolded entirely in a series of flashbacks, narrated by Lara's friends, who believed she was dead.
She will live on forever in our hearts.
As far as we were concerned, we'd kind of killed her off. So Tomb Raider 5, we did the best job we could, but whether our hearts were in it or not, I'm not entirely certain.
By then, Lara was running out of breath. The franchise pushed the PlayStation 1 to its technical limits. Reviews and sales started to fall. Developers listened to fan feedback and began working on a brand new chapter in the story of Lara Croft, titled Tomb Raider: The Angel of Darkness. Little did they know what trouble was waiting around the corner.